First, a shaky ceasefire in the U.S.-Iran war has made it 24 hours without completely collapsing. President Trump's top item toward multi-point temporary truce has not happened, though. A full reopening of the Strait of Hormuz that carries 20% of the world's gas and oil supply.
NBC5 investigates a hidden underwater threat to those ships traversing Hormuz. These are explosive mines that were planted there by Iranian naval forces. It's a threat that's now getting special attention at the University of Illinois. Investigative reporter Chuck Goudie is here to take a closer look at this unusual U of I connection and this underwater obstacle, Chuck, that really is an obstacle to peace in the Middle East.
It is, Stephen. Allison. Beyond lines of picturesque palm trees framing the Strait of Hormuz, operators of oil tankers and cargo ships aren't just worried about Iranian missiles and drones. They know about the sunken threat secretly installed by Iranian mine layers in the months leading up to the war. Tonight, far away in a lab at University of Illinois downstate, a U.S. Navy-funded project is ready to go, aimed at geo-tracking the dangerous underwater explosives and removing a sunken threat that has jittery oil shippers concerned for their lives and their livelihood. Early today, when these ships slowly maneuvered through the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. officials and Gulf nations were optimistic that the crucial Middle East waterway would finally open up for good. But the day ended with just 3 making it through.
We have seen an uptick of traffic in the Strait today, and I will reiterate the president's expectation and demand that the Strait of Hormuz is reopened immediately, quickly, and safely.
Safety is the operative word. And while these recent U.S. airstrikes have taken out small Iranian Navy boats that install underwater mines, there are at least a dozen still in place, and maybe more. Here at downstate U of I, 6,956 miles away from the strait and that waterway threat, is a project funded by the U.S. Navy that would defuse the explosive threat.
I'm a professor in electrical engineering.
Victor Groove is overseeing a project that focuses on underwater navigation and geolocating explosive mines remotely, quickly, and safely.
I've been working with marine biologists for many, many years, just looking at natural phenomena. And then sort of as a side project, we figured it out that we have a technology that we can use for underwater navigation. So one of the challenges that we currently have is a lot of mines that are being deployed in this particular area. So we want to have a way to find these mines in a very reliable way, make sure they are identified, eliminated, or we can let other people know to avoid that particular area.
Groove says he's in discussion with the Navy right now on how to help alleviate the current threat offshore Iran.
You know, there's been few instances when I watch the news, when I read the news, and I say, what we have can really make a difference, right? One of the things about our imaging technology that we've developed that goes on these underwater drones is very accurate within the first 50 meters of the water column. You know, these are relatively inexpensive platforms. The information they can gather is definitely really important and can be of a vital importance.
President Trump demanded weeks ago that Iran remove the underwater booby trap bombs from the Strait of Hormuz, but there's no indication that happened, and U.S. airstrikes have destroyed half of the Iranian ships that could actually accomplish that. But that points to another problem. The president has said Iran's Navy has been sunk, but half its small boat fleet remains, according to the Pentagon tonight, and is still capable of stirring things up in the Gulf. Not what we need.
So essentially try to deactivate these mines, just get them out of the picture?
First locate them, then figure out how to deactivate them to clear the way.
Gotta love that the University of Illinois Electrical Engineering Department is on this.
There's always a local connection.
There always is.
Best brains in the business. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck.